Good morning. I want to thank the Muckleshoot Indian Tribe for their wonderful presentation. The Muckleshoot Canoe family did an outstanding presentation. Thank you. At this time, I would like to invite a special guest, someone who's not only my neighbor, my friend, but the vice chair of the Muckleshoot Tribe, John Daniels, Jr.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Eli Nelson. Eli's a relative of mine. We have common ancestors who fought in the treaty wars. Good morning, esteemed friends. I am John Daniels, Jr., the Vice Chairman of the Muckleshoot Indian Tribe. It is an honor to join you for this momentous occasion, the opening of the Federal Way Sound Transit Station. Thank you for having Muckleshoot Indian Tribe participate in this celebration and for recognizing the tribal nations whose homelands make visiting this region such an incredible experience. The Muckleshoot Indian Tribe is a signatory to two foundational treaties within the United States, the Medicine Creek Treaty of 1854 and the Point Elliott Treaty of 1855. These treaties affirm our sovereignty, our rights, and our enduring relationship to these beautiful lands and precious waters. With that great history in mind, it is my privilege to welcome you to our traditional homelands and to share this moment with all of you. This new station sits very close to home for me. My family lives on the West Hill of Auburn, only a short distance from here. When we first moved into our neighborhood, longtime residents shared stories about the area. One elderly neighbor named Ed told me that a traditional longhouse once stood up the road from the house. He remembered taking his son there to explore what he called Indian stuff. Sadly, he also told me that particular piece of land was eventually sold and the longhouse was bulldozed over, treated no differently than any old worn-out building. I know the people who made that decision didn't understand the significance of what they were removing, but it still hurts to think that a place tied to our ancestors, to our teachings, and to our identity could be erased so casually. Well, moments like that remind us why it is important to come together like we are today. We cannot bring that longhouse back, but we can work toward a future where tribal history is respected and where our presence is understood as a lasting, important part of this region. The fact that we are here today, included in this celebration, and acknowledged as partners shows how far we have come as neighbors. Our ancestors traveled these lands and waters of the Puget Sound region with purpose and sophistication. My family roots trace to the south end of Lake Washington, near the Cedar and Black Rivers. A place forever changed when the Ballard Locks were built to drive regional economic growth. All at the same time, it dried up the Black River. Long before that, our people maintained their own thriving economy, trails leading to our hunting and gathering grounds, berry picking camps, river systems supporting fishing and shellfish harvesting in our beaches, and trade routes that connected our treaty and tribal communities far and wide without borders. Transportation has always been part of who we are. For our ancestors, the distance from this station to that long but not forgotten longhouse village was just a leisurely walk to the east, straight as an eagle flies. I had a granduncle, Bill Daniels, who elders told me used to run from our reservation across the White River all the way to Sumner to work and back. So we deeply value our oral history and connection to our homeland. We honor our ancestors and diligently work every day to create opportunities for future generations. Today, our young people attend colleges and universities across the region, and many of them are excited for this station to open. Our tribe's partnership with arts, sports, and the environmental communities continue to develop. We own businesses, steward lands, and help create jobs throughout the Puget Sound, contributing to the shared prosperity of all of our collective communities. Standing here with public leaders, community members, and partners truly feels like a blessing. On behalf of the Muckleshoot Indian Tribe, thank you to everyone who helped make this project possible. Your dedication and hard work will benefit all of our people for generations to come. And please come visit us. We welcome you with hands raised. We offer great entertainment, warm beds, and hot, delicious meals at the Muckleshoot Resort. And as a tribal leader, I can say this: if you behave yourselves, you will always be welcome guests in our ancestral homelands. On behalf of our sovereign, Muckleshoot strong and proud, federally recognized Indian tribe, thank you. Have a blessed day.
I'd like to invite Ndui Chukwu to come up. I think it's appropriate for our pledge to the flag that we have a representative from Mission Africa who spends her entire life committed to helping immigrants into our country. Ndui, please rise.
Thank you, sir. Let's say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much.
Christmas has finally come to South King County. Instead of coal, we got a modern-day Polar Express. There are a lot of office people here today, but I also want to recognize the hard hats in this audience. There are a lot of folks who made this happen. Let's give a round of applause to the hard hats. Some of you may have seen this button that we put out today, and it says, "Hell freezes over on December 6, 2025. Let me give a brief background. In 2004, I was talking to my colleague and good friend, Ron Sims. Ron Sims was one of the best public officials that I've ever worked for, and he was one of the best friends I've ever had. And I was complaining about the fact that South King County was getting the short end of the stick. It was being treated as the poor stepchild between Tacoma and Seattle. And I said to Ron, hell will freeze over before we get transit here. We've got transit here today. Ron appointed me to the board in 2004, and I'm very pleased that there are so many folks who are on the board back then and here. Could all the board members, previous and current, please stand up for Sound Transit, previous and current. Families across South King County will use this line to get to work, to school, to the airport, as well as to travel to games at T-Mobile and Lumen, and as well as to Husky Stadium. Where's Dow? Dow is definitely looking for that one. But don't forget the FIFA games in 2026. People will come to visit South King County as they attend those games. So we're very fortunate to have so many good speakers and good guests and special guests here today. I'd like to bring our first guest is someone who has been a leader in understanding the relationship between transportation and economic development. She has been a fighter. When I served in the legislature, she was a fighter for jobs then. And she is one of the few U.S. senators who gets a correlation between jobs and transportation. Senator Maria Cantwell.
Well, thank you, Peter, and thanks for that introduction. What a great crowd here in Federal Way. Yes. You know, I said I really want to be here because I've been to a few parties lately. I've been to Bellevue, I've been to Redmond, I've been to Linwood, I've been to Hilltop, and now we're in Federal Way to have a great celebration on the rail system. I want to thank the Sound Transit Board Chairman and King County Executive Dave Summers. Definitely want to thank Dow Constantine for his leadership. I want to thank the Transportation Chair in the House, Jake Fay. Obviously, I want to thank President Sam Him from the Seattle Building and Construction Trade Council. Thank you so much. I want to thank Mayor Bacchus, who is here as a board member of Sound Transit, and obviously Mayor Angela Burney. She knows what the party's about. She's come from Redmond to party here. And my two colleagues, you know, I don't think people really understand. In the United States Senate, we have Patty Murray, the ranking member of the Senate Appropriations Committee. So we got the appropriations side covered, and a decade ago, and we toured the parking lot, right? That was we toured the parking lot. It was raining cats and dogs, and we said this is going to be the future site, and that's how long we've been working on this. The extension